school district, I could never take it. I wouldn't want to if they're selling that sign. Because we're just going to be gone.
Wheeling Plan Commission meeting for Thursday, June 28th is called to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Secretary, please take the roll.
Thank you. Commissioner Brunello present. Commissioner Creech?
Present.
Commissioner Dorbin?
I'm here.
Commissioner Johnson?
Here.
Commissioner Kellis?
Good evening.
Commissioner Powers absent. And Mr. Chairman?
Here.
Thank you.
And Commissioner Powers had told us prior that he would be not in attendance tonight. Brooke, any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
Citizens' concerns and comments. I don't believe anybody has signed up tonight, so we'll go right into consent items. Docket number SCBA 18-9, the Whitley, 156 West Dundee Road, appearance approval of a freestanding sign. Docket number SCBA 18-23, 375 West Dundee Road, appearance approval of a freestanding sign. Brooke, I'm not seeing addresses on those. Is there addresses on them? I don't see an address there.
375 West Dundee Road.
No, on the side.
On the sign.
Oh,
And if you would go back to the Whitley,
That's
the
got it.
Whitley
that's
has
got
it.
it, okay.
Yes.
So the one, unless, that's not their address, correct? Is it one?
No, it's 375 West Dundee.
So, do we need to take that off and have them add that? Because I don't think we can do conditions on consent
Does
items.
the other sign have addresses on it, the bigger ones?
The other one, let me just scroll through. This does not. I think it has too many tenant panels to have
An address.
that many addresses. That's for certain.
General consensus, are we okay without addresses on this and the Wheeling Town Center sign? Can I hear a nod? Can I hear or see a nod? I'd like to hear one, but
Is there a big marquee? I mean, is that normal to have the numbers on there?
we normally require them to put numbers, and I'm sorry I missed that before. We normally ask them to put their address on the sign, but in this case, we've got Wheeling Town Center.
If I could make a suggestion.
Yes.
I can, as staff, suggest that the petitioner do that and ask that it was a recommendation of the Plan Commission.
That would be fine. Is everybody okay with that?
Repeat that again, please.
I would ask that the petitioner add the address to the sign. It would be a recommendation of the Plan Commission, not a requirement.
Well, wait, if we've always asked everybody to do it in the past and now we're saying a recommendation, doesn't that set precedent going forward for somebody else to not do it?
You're right, it does. But it would be something like 375 through whatever West Dundee, because there's multiple tenants within the property.
Right.
We're talking about just putting it once, like the range of numbers, not each number on.
That's what we've had in all.
Okay, I was going to say, each number individually would be very overwhelming. Okay.
Yeah.
But we don't know their
range.
address yet.
Right.
And each unit
Each unit's going
will
to
have an address.
is going to have an address.
Sure.
But can it
We'll have
go
to
from
remember that.
375 to whatever? I mean, can't we have a range in there?
I think that, Commissioner Dorban, I think that would be the best thing to do, especially on this, on the one,
That's what they do with
Below.
the medical offices and whatnot.
Right.
It's always a range.
375 through whatever.
I believe the address for this apartment building called The One is 375. It's not a range.
Right.
So,
Repeat that again, Brooke.
The address for the One apartment building
Yes.
is 375 West Dundee.
Okay, so then like the theater and Starbucks,
They all have separate addresses.
and would they be in the 375 range, or are they, very different? I mean,
It's in that range,
okay,
yes.
okay, okay.
I thought one was the address.
so
Mr. Chairman, should we pull this from consent and talk about it afterwards?
Mallory, can we do that?
I mean, yes, you can pull it from consent. You can't make any conditions if it's on consent.
Right, so we need to pull it.
You'd have to pull it if you're going to change the sign
Right.
as proposed.
And I don't, in this case, we don't need the petitioner here, so we probably need a motion
Make a
to
motion that we move it off of the consent agenda.
make it,
Are you
make it item
B
G.
and D.
D,
I'm sorry, D, yeah.
D and D.
1820-23 and 18-25.
Yes. So we would make those C and D.
Do you want you want the addresses also on the large?
Well,
The multi-tenant sign, I don't think other
Right.
multi-tenant signs in town
Yes,
for
so-
shopping centers have addresses.
Right, you're exactly right.
I thought we did for Lexington Commons, maybe?
We,
I don't believe so. I know Fresh Farms does not.
yeah,
They have a very similar sign.
I would, let's pull it and then we can discuss it. Pull B and D, and then make them C and D on items for review. So moving forward, C, docket number SCBA 18-24, Optimum Health Clinic, 300
We need
North.
a motion in a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Vote.
We
We
did
have a-
have a motion and a second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Dorban, second by Commissioner Johnson. Can we do a voice vote? Or should we,
Just do a roll call.
roll call, please? Do a roll call.
Commissioner Dorbin,
Yes,
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Bernova, yes. Commissioner Creech,
Yes.
Commissioner Callis,
Yes.
Commissioner Power absent, and Chairman?
Yes.
Chairman Frada.
Okay, so moving forward on the consent items, docket number SCBA 18-24, Optimum Health Clinic, 300 North Wolf Road.
Yes.
Okay. And then docket number SCBA 18-26, Bexcal, 58 North Wolf Road. It's a nice sign. And SCBA 18-29, Brittany Court, 307 South Milwaukee Avenue.
So moved.
second,
We have a motion by Commissioner Johnson, second by Commissioner Dorban. Ms. Secretary?
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Dorbin,
yes,
Commissioner Bernova, yes. Commissioner Creech,
Yes.
Commissioner Callis,
Yes.
Commissioner Power absent, and Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Items for review, docket number PC 18-12 and SCBA 18-27. Is a McDonald's representative here? Okay, great, thank you. I didn't want to read all this if somebody wasn't here. McDonald's, 1355 Lace Cook Road, PC 18-12, minor site plan appearance approval of facade and site modifications and appearance approval of drive-through signage. Brooke, anything to add?
Nothing at this time.
If the petitioner could come forward, please. I don't see any samples. Hi there, if you could state your name and business address.
My name is Lisa Donmeyer. I work for a Lingle Design Group. Do you want my business address or the?
Business
location?
address is fine.
My business address is 158 West Main Street, in Lena, Illinois. The business that I'm talking about, is that the address you want?
No, that's,
I'm
the
sorry.
address that you
I'm
gave
con-
is fine.
Okay.
So the floor is yours, so if you can describe what you plan on doing?
We're working with McDonald's, and they're planning on doing a remodel at the location at 1355 Lake Cook Road. The majority of the upgrades for this, there are going to be interior and exterior modifications. I think the reason that I'm here today speaking to you is a minor site plan review. We are doing some things to the site, mostly for ADA compliance reasons. We're upgrading some sidewalks and reworking some of the striping and updating some ramps to make sure everything is in compliance with the ADA code. And then the exterior of the building will be modified to the current McDonald's design standards. And one of the items I know Brooke had mentioned that you guys needed to see were samples, and I did bring a sample board. Do you want me to bring this up and you guys can pass it, or?
So perhaps if you could take that microphone there, the handheld microphone, and grab that and point, so you've got all of these material samples here. So if you could somehow, I don't know how you would do that, but I guess point to what is where. Okay, is that on?
Okay. Is this on?
Yeah, because it's hard to.
Is this on? Oh,
It
it's
is on,
Okay.
right.
All right, I'm going to have a hard time holding
Right.
the mic.
Wait, I'll come over there and hold it.
Let's see if that'll hold up right there.
No.
Oh, it will. Okay, great.
Success. Okay, as you probably know, the McDonald's currently right now has the old style mansard roof. So we are proposing to remove that, extend the parapet wall up to make the appearance of a flat roof. Some of the materials that we're planning to use, obviously the main portions of the building will remain as is and be painted. We've got paint samples that we've provided, and then the extension of the parapet wall will be painted Nichiha, which is a fiber cement board, this material right here. And then this top element right here will be a corrugated metal. We've also got some additional Nichiha. This is, which one is that one? Vintage, it's called vintage wood Nichiha. So that one just comes as is. It's a wood grain. So that will be on some of the other elements.
Right. You could probably take, has everybody seen that?
Where is the corrugated again?
The band right up here at the
Okay.
top.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You could probably take that down so it doesn't fall. Thank you. All right, and then probably describe what other items you're doing. You said for ADA compliance, and if you could describe those and what you're doing.
Brooke, do you have all the pages of the, I think there's a good site plan that shows, there's an existing sidewalk that we're going to extend down I think it's the west side of the building, because part of ADA code states that we need to have a clear, accessible route from the public sidewalk to the building. So we're going to extend a sidewalk from the public sidewalk to the building. And then as you can see, There's a walkway, yes, that walkway right there that Brooke's pointing out is going to be, they're going to redo the asphalt in that area and make that walkway concrete. As you know, concrete holds up better, that doesn't give or slope, so we can maintain that flat level surface that we're required to have for compliance. And then that will lead right into the existing handicap parking stalls with the ramps and so on. So really, that's the only site work that we're doing. There aren't going to be any changes to the layout or the drive-through lanes. It's all just compliance items.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else?
Nope. Unless anyone has questions.
Oh, don't worry, we will.
Okay.
Okay. Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you. Well, thanks for letting us know what Nichiha is, because I've never heard of that term before. Are you painting brick surfaces?
I believe that's the plan, yes.
Oh, we typically do not like that. I would hope you would consider something better.
So, looking at this, what would be painted?
Whatever existing brick is on the facade, and I don't have any existing pictures of the existing building.
We do here.
Yeah.
And that's the unfortunate thing, because
It's a lot of brick.
it's a lot of brick to paint, right?
So per code, is that something that's just absolutely not allowed, or you just frowned upon?
I don't think we have any code.
Not
Not
preferred.
forbidden, but it's definitely not encouraged.
Not
Okay.
encouraged.
For maintenance purposes, that it
Right.
would just degrade.
Yeah. So we can, after, I will take a poll of the commission to see their feelings on it.
That's all I have at this point, sir.
Okay, great, thank you. Commissioner Creech.
I have no questions.
Commissioner Blanova.
Thank you. I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Powers. No, Commissioner Powers is not here. I got to scratch that name out there. Commissioner Dorban.
Thank you. Around the windows, it's all aluminum, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, and there are going to be no changes to the windows per se?
Correct.
Okay, I did notice, is there a new door on this plan that's showing up there? Or are those the existing ones?
Those are all existing.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's all my questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Kalis.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that it's being updated and brought to today. And the McDonald's on Dundee it doesn't even look like a McDonald's, so I'm excited that it's going to look more modern. But I am also concerned about the paint, I suppose. But with the picture of the previous building, is that top section, is that like stucco or is that paint? Is it all going to be painted?
That top section is the Nichiha material
that's
that
the
I pointed out.
Okay.
Yeah,
And that will be painted also?
that will be painted,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. That's it for me. Thanks.
Okay, so we also have a question about the drive-through signage. And looking at this, the M's are highlighted. Are they highlighted on this for any reason? Are those changing? Or is it just the drive-through?
Tonight, you are not voting on the wall signage. That is not approved because we do not have enough detail.
Okay, so it's only the signage, and if you could bring that up? Are those two items right there?
Right,
That's it?
these pieces, as well as the menu boards that are shown here, and they're illustrated in the site plan here.
Okay. That's all right. An interesting thing. Brooke, could you go back to the one slide that had this drive-through area highlighted? I think it's right there. I don't know why it's highlighted. But I find something interesting, and it's actually at all of your McDonald's, all the McDonald's, and I'm sure you're not doing them all. So there's a sidewalk that goes along the building, and it ends in a drive-through, right there. So if you could point, what's interesting is that there's no way to get to the parking in the back unless you walk out into the parking area or you walk through the drive-through. Just as an aside, you might want to point that out to the McDonald's because that is very dangerous. And it's actually not just this one, but it's another McDonald's that I go to by my work. Same thing, there's no way, there's no walkway through this area here that you can walk through in between cars. So, and they're not doing anything to discourage people from walking on that sidewalk, just as an aside. Okay, so I have one item here that before we vote on this, the painting of the brick. It's not something that we encourage, so Commissioner Johnson, I will start with you.
Can you hold up the color samples again? Yeah, I'm just wondering why that brick color has to change with
Right.
the choices they
I can
made.
take the recommendation back to them. We've worked through that before. There have been a couple instances where they've stained it instead of painted it.
Well,
There have been a couple instances where they've just left it alone.
If you look at the lower right picture there, it looks like the same color as the color photograph that
Right.
in our packet.
Exactly. So what is your?
So I would recommend not painting.
Okay. Commissioner Blanova,
I agree the same thing.
not painting?
Not
Commissioner Dorban?
I have no problem with them painting it, and my rationale behind that is that we have never had a problem with McDonald's maintaining their property. And so this, I see no reason.
So you see no reason, okay. Commissioner Kalis?
I would prefer not painting.
Okay.
For precedent's sake.
Right. And Commissioner Creech?
I have no problem with the painting and/or staining of the brick.
Okay. And I am not in favor of painting it, so it's 4-2, so it's no painting.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Are you then okay with staining?
No,
Okay.
nothing, neither painting nor staining.
I'll leave it
Same maintenance, same,
See if it looks good.
right. So, so that would be on the, on 1812, that condition, correct?
Right.
Right. So that's the only condition, correct? Okay, so do I hear a motion on PC 18-12 minor site plan appearance approval of facade and site modifications with the,
With the condition that the existing brick shall not be painted.
great, thank you. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Johnson, second by Commissioner Kalis.
Yes.
Ms. Secretary?
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Kellis,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanova, yes, Commissioner Creech,
Yes,
Commissioner Dorban,
Yes,
Commissioner Powers absent, and Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
thank you.
Do I hear a motion on SCBA 18-27 appearance approval of drive-through signage?
so moved.
Second?
Motion by Commissioner Creech, second by Commissioner Johnson. Ms. Secretary?
Commissioner Creech,
Yes,
Commissioner Dorban,
yes,
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Kellis,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanova, yes, Commissioner Powers absent, and Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
thank you.
thank you. You'll have something to sign? And
Something to sign?
yes, your life away? No. It's just a,
Proof you were here.
it's, yeah, and it just tells you what was approved tonight.
Okay.
Okay?
with the new products that we have out there now, we don't have that issue with
I have 5 of them.
like it did before.
One of them is.
Oh, consent. Okay. Phew.
I've said it before a number of times. Most people don't pay attention to it. this is McDonald's.
Yeah.
They're not gonna let that go to the
Yeah.
And they're painting the Drive-Thru, which is cement. So what's the difference?
Could have convinced me.
We're gonna have to get a representative out there.
And if you can come up here and just sign each page where it says petitioner. Tells you how we voted and the condition.
Just like everybody has tried. Yes, it's not
And
good.
what town were you from? Where's your business at?
Lena, Illinois?
Lena.
Okay.
Where's that at?
It's cement or cement too.
We're by Iowa. We're way west.
Wow.
We're way west. It's northwest.
Okay.
They paint this all the cement.
When do they expect to start this?
I would have to look at the date,
Yeah, that's
for this one, but I'm assuming sometime later this summer.
And it'll be
Late
shut
summer,
down
early
for
fall.
a while?
There's no
What?
standard.
It'll be shut down for a while?
They're trying not to shut any of them
Or-
down during
yes.
construction. They're doing them
This
in
product,
phases,
doesn't appeal.
so,
But like,
they can keep them open. There might be an instance
Seems like
where
there
they
should
just
be
have
a
the drive-through
standard.
open and the
Yeah.
tenant is closed. Yeah, they're trying to keep them open.
And then I will give you a copy of each.
yeah.
That's the manufacturers.
And thank you.
All right.
Yeah. Bring this up after the meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, calling docket number 2018-11, continued from May 24th without discussion. Holy Spirit Life Learning Center, 111 North Wolf Road, special use site plan approval of a social service facility. Ms. Secretary.
Missionary Sisters of Holy Spirit is seeking special use site plan approval as required under Chapter 19-05 Mixed Use and Overlay Districts, Chapter 19-10 Use Regulation, and Chapter 19-12 Site Plan Approval Requirements, an associate section, to establish a social service facility at 111 North Wolf Road, Wheeling, Illinois, which is zoned MXC Commercial Residential Mixed Use District. A zoning special use as defined in Title 19 of the Village of Wheeling zoning is a use of parcel of land that requires review and consideration before approval due to circumstances or effects on the surrounding properties that may adversely affect them. In order to be considered for a special use, the petitioner is required to demonstrate through their testimony to the Plan Commission at the public hearing why their requirement meets the conditions of the village code, including but not limited how to propose use will not damage the enjoyment and use of surrounding properties. Prior to the public hearing, the petitioner provides a written statement meant to show that their request for special use meets the standards established in Title 19. The Commission chairperson will typically direct that this statement be entered into a record without full reading of them at the hearing. Based upon the testimony and supporting materials submitted, the Plan Commission will make finding in the support of or against the petition testimony and report those findings to the Village Board.
Great, thank you. Brooke, any comments?
Yes, I'd like to note that the submittals of the petitioner and the staff reports are part of the public record.
Great, thank you. Good evening. Both of you, will you be the only two speaking tonight?
Yes,
Okay, so would you please raise your right hands? Do you swear the testimony you give tonight to be the truth?
I do.
Great, thank you. And as you come up to speak, if you could give your name and business address, that'd be great. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. The floor is yours to describe what you want to do.
My name is Charles
You
Schwartz.
can move that up so you don't have to bend down.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Charles Schwartz. I'm the architect of record, offices at 1645 West Ogden Avenue in Chicago, Illinois. And with me is Mark Kelly, the project manager for the project.
Great, thank you.
We are here before you to request a special use to reclassify this address as a social service facility from a business use. We're here to answer any questions you have. There's no physical changes to the property. The special use will more accurately categorize the nature and scope of the programs that are going on within the facility. The Life Learning Center provides activities, services, programs, educational help to the neighboring, mainly the members of the neighboring community. And physically, there's no changes. We've received the requests from the fire department for a installation of a sprinkler system if the special use is approved, and restriping of the existing parking spaces and the addition of a bicycle rack in front of the building. With that, we're here to answer any questions you might have.
Okay. And we will be asking questions just to clarify. It's not only restripe, it's resurface.
Restriping and resurfacing, correct.
Okay. You want to resurface first and then restripe. That would be a key. That would be a key. Okay, so we have nothing else, so I will start with Commissioner Dorban.
I really don't have any additional questions. As long as you're going to resurface and restripe, I'm okay.
Great. Okay. Commissioner Kalis.
Thank you. So you're looking to expand operations and there's going to be more people, and can you speak to a little bit about why you think parking won't be an issue?
Well, this was the main issue for us when we decided to go in for the special uses of the parking. We can't expand the parking, but we're willing to do anything that's possible to work with the neighboring facilities. Mainly, most of the people who come in and use the facility are people from the neighborhood. Within about 1,000 feet are roughly 500 or 600 residential units, and mainly the programs are mainly geared toward the residents of the community to help them acclimate towards society, help with education, help with English as a second language, help with homework, programs like that. Okay. So it's mainly just to more properly classify the use of this facility and allow more people in there if programs are expanded a little bit.
I love the idea. I love the expansion is great if it can be helpful to more people. So that's not anecdotal, like you guys know from the business in the past that most people come from that area and it is walkable. It's not like, oh, most people will probably come. It's the people that come live right here that you know for sure.
That's what I'm told.
Okay. I figured. I just want to clarify that. And then with it being walkable or whatever, is there a place to put a bike rack? Is that?
There is not a bike rack now, but if you can see on the site plan, the building is set back about 3 feet from the sidewalk, so it gives us an additional 3 feet between the two planters, plus an 8-foot sidewalk to. We've got about 11 feet to the edge of the curb. Okay. So we've got room to put a bike rack. We can expand the two bicycle rack and put probably up to, 6 or 7. Yeah. Bike rack use, you know what I mean? 6 or 7 bikes in there.
Yeah, I think if people are literally coming from across the street and walking, that's fine, but just the town center is going to make this whole area more walkable, bikeable, so it might behoove you to consider a bike rack, would be my thought. But yeah, as far as if that's true, that parking won't be a problem because most people are walking or biking, then I have no concerns other than that and look forward to the expansion. That's it for me.
Great, thank you, Commissioner Kalis. Commissioner Blanova.
Thank you. I just have only one question. We noticed on one of the pictures there are garbage cans in front.
This picture, Mark tells me, is the project manager and the manager of the facility. This was garbage day. Normally the garbage cans are kept in the back of the facility. There's deliveries in and out, deliveries and access to the rear of the facility where there's drop-offs and some parking for possible parking for employees back there, but these will not be there
Got it.
day to day. This was just out for garbage day.
Got it. I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you. While we're on the subject of the garbage containers, I thought those were strictly residential type. Not, does Waste Management use those for businesses, Brooke? Do you know?
I do not. Does anyone else on staff know?
Waste management, because we're not generating.
Excuse me, sir, can you come up to the mic? Thank you.
Sorry. Would waste management, because we're not generating much garbage or recycling, that these were the bins that they recommended us to use. So that was all.
Not used to seeing them in a commercial property.
True.
Can you describe these sessions, or how many sessions are being conducted at one time?
Sure. Yeah, so currently there's only one class being conducted at a time. You know, the numbers are relatively low right now, but in doing this, you know, in expanding this, it allows us to grow the numbers. And, you know, like currently, you know, they have English in the mornings, they've got a number of different classes. None of them are running simultaneous to each other. So it's just one class, they come in and they do their thing, and then normally there's an overlap, then the next class might be the same mothers that are there from the first class.
So scheduling of these would help with your parking issue?
Right, for sure,
Okay.
yeah.
I think that's it, other than one cleanup item for Brooke. The map on page 1 is not pointing to the right
I
property.
did notice that, thank you, when I was
Okay.
looking at that earlier tonight. I will
Nope, that's on
correct
the wrong
that
side of
before it
the
goes to
street.
the board.
That's all I had, thanks.
Commissioner Creech.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Now, the parking facility, or the parking that's associated with this property, this is like a shared, like, strip center, correct?
Yes.
Right, correct,
And you're designated 5 spots.
correct.
So are you required any handicap parking for your particular facility, or is that part of the whole parking lot?
I don't know. I don't think there was any requirement with the build-out.
As far as I could see, I looked at your plat and I looked for covenants or easements. I didn't see anything that would require shared parking with the neighboring properties. So what's under review is the subject property, and that is their legal, you know, right to those parking spaces. It seems like they are shared in practice.
Yeah, that's what it seems when I drove by there. But the other thing is, now you have space in the back that says it's existing gravel area,
Correct,
and you're going to have like 3 or 4 employees.
correct.
Now you expect them to park in the back there?
At this time, yes, that's what they have been doing, just because we have an agreement with the building next door that allows us to access that space in the back. So they won't be using the five spaces in the front of the building.
So are you resurfacing that area?
We were not planning on resurfacing that area.
Ron, is there any problems with the accessibility to the rear of this, you know, with this, what goes behind the bowling alley?
Well, the access from the bowling alley is restricted. The bowling alley has a gate, but we do have access through it with a Knox box, and that would be the primary way to get to the back of the building. There's another access point to the south, but it's a little bit narrower, but you can get an engine in. I don't know about a ladder truck. But again, it's a one-story building, so it wouldn't be a major consideration.
So now, when you're going to park in the back there, you have to go through the bowling alleys gate to get to this parking spot?
Sure. Sorry, with the bowling alley, we've got a very good relationship with the bowling alley next door, and we have an agreement with the lady that we can access our property if we wish through that pathway along the back of the bowling alley. It's not, it's not something that we use all the time, but if the sisters that look after the building and run the classes, they travel together, every day. So there's really, if there's 3 sisters there, there'll be 1 car, and a lot of the time they just pull around the back for convenience if they're taking stuff in and out of the car. So that's how we use it. That's how we use it.
Well, since we have such limited parking in that lot, it seems to me that you're going to be using this rear parking lot. So I would like to see something done to that parking lot. And then you also have to worry about snow removal in the rear of that building as well. So that's all I got.
So, Commissioner Creech, you're asking for an enhancement to the back parking. So
Well, yeah, since they only have 5 spots and they're going to be using it, and, this would certainly help, everybody in the whole site if their employees park in the back of that property. So I think that they should, make accommodations for their employees for that purpose.
you're the second building from the bowling alley? It's the bowling alley and then?
There's the bowling alley and then us.
Then you, okay, all right, okay. All right. Okay, well, I will take a poll afterwards to see how everybody feels about doing that, okay? Anything else, Commissioner Creech?
No, that's all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So my question is around let me go back to so in the staff report we have it indicates that there to include 3 simultaneous classes of 15 individuals each. 15 individuals for each class. So that's 3 going on at the same time, 45 users. And granted, I'm sure you're building up to that. And then there are 3 full-time employees. So do those 3 full-time employees teach all of these classes? So you've got, or do you have volunteers coming in?
Occasionally the volunteers come in to...
If you could.
Sorry. Yeah, so whenever it's necessary and whenever somebody's available, they may volunteer to come in and help them with the class. But because the numbers have been so small to date, that really doesn't become an issue. And the classes are only, they're not running simultaneous right now. I suppose with that number, that's a high number that we're trying to build up to and make provision for that going forward.
So I'm trying to reconcile the type of classes that are offered: English as a second language, basic computer fitness, arts and crafts, sewing, homework help and tutoring, and domestic abuse programs, that they're so diverse that you would need different, unless you've got skilled, these 3 employees are it. Where I'm coming from is the parking part of that. Okay, so when you say the 3 full-time employees, you mentioned the nuns. Are the nuns the 3 full-time employees? Yes. So that's 1 car parked in back.
Yes.
And then you have potentially some volunteers coming.
Yeah, that would be additional nuns, so it would, and
okay.
There's some volunteers. There's some of the ladies that are there in the vicinity that spend extra time in there, so they'll sit around with the sisters after the classes, you know what I mean? It's, you know, so it's very community based, and it's a good group of people that are working together, trying to help each other out.
I'm not questioning the value, because this is a very, very valuable program that's being offered here. It's just the concern about the parking.
Yeah.
That's all there is. 5 spaces. That was really my only concern, and I think that we've addressed that. And if it so happens that it gets so big that you have parking issues, you're going to have to start talking to your neighbors, because we don't have, in our code, we don't have anything for whatever it is, life, whatever we called it.
Social services.
Yeah, social services, we don't have anything, so, right, so.
Well, the code,
Is,
the parking requirement is as determined by the Plan Commission. That is what the zoning
okay, I'm
code
sorry,
states.
right, so, yeah, I'm sorry, it's not like a restaurant where it's
Right.
X amount of,
Right, it's not an explicit
Right.
parking requirement. It's
Okay.
on a as-needed basis.
Got it.
Where
Okay.
the petitioner demonstrates what their needs are, and the Plan Commission either agrees or
right,
asks
okay,
for additional parking.
understood, okay. Well, that was all I had, and I'm satisfied with the responses. Are there any other questions? Commissioner Creech, I thought you were going to say something?
No.
No, okay.
I mean, I was going to say, as a business, if you could encourage, you say it's a community feel, and I completely understand that it probably is, if you could encourage people, if they are going to drive, to tell them to try to carpool, because you are limited to 5 spots, just make everyone aware of it so they can be conscious of that, so it does not become a problem. I think that would go a long way.
We actually spent some time talking about that today.
Yeah, just, it seems like a community, and if everyone's in agreement that there's only 5 spots, then you won't have Joe's Pizzeria being mad at you, or the bowling alley, and things like that, so.
Good. So one of the questions we have, we've got the garbage cans, they will be in back. The question of enhancements and improvements to the parking in the back. Commissioner Creech, if you could what would you look to have that paved?
Yes.
Okay, so,
Excuse me, real quick, Chairman.
yes,
Something that probably should be noted, if they are going, and I was looking through our code here real quick, if they are going to designate that area in the back as parking, all off-street parking shall conform to the minimum design standards, and one of those design standards is it should be paved
okay.
and have curb, so.
So,
just,
okay, so
something
your
of-
consideration here is that the code that says that it would have to be paved if you're going to use that as parking. If you could speak into the microphone.
If we could choose not to use it as parking, is that okay?
Yes, I would. Right, if they choose not to use it as parking,
Then I don't see a problem with that. I'm just saying if they were to designate it as off-street parking.
thank you for that,
Yeah.
Cal. I appreciate that. So it's not going to be used as parking. It's going to be used as storage for garbage cans, which are pulled in front. Any questions, comments?
I presume it's the same way all across all the businesses, it's all gravel?
Well, there's only a couple of businesses that have that parking in the back.
Because the bowling alley goes further back.
Well, actually, the bowling alley is a road, and then I think it's two, 1, 2, 3. 3 slots, 3 businesses
Okay.
going from the bowling alley south that have space in back, and then everything else looks like nothing. There's green grass back there, so,
Okay.
right. Yes, I will, right. This, I forgot to do this, thank you. Before we go on, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone wishing to speak on this matter? No? No, okay. You don't have, thank you. Thank you, Mallory. I completely forgot we got into this. Okay, so it's not going to be used as parking, so that's an additional car that's going to have to be in front. Okay, great. And thank you, Kyle, for pointing that out. And thank you, Commissioner Creech. Okay, so Brooke, we have a couple of conditions. Does anybody have any other questions? No. Brooke, we have a couple of conditions. Ron, Kyle, anything to add? No? We have sprinkler system, and then if that goes in, there's a new main that needs. And
Yeah, if with the
that's all
sprinkler system,
engineering and,
yeah,
right.
that can all be handled in permitting.
Yep. Okay, great, thank you. Brooke, you have conditions?
There are 3 conditions listed in the staff report. They are parking for at least 2 bicycles shall be provided. An automatic fire sprinkler system shall be installed prior to occupancy, and the front parking lot shall be resurfaced and restriped prior to occupancy.
Great. So, do I hear a motion on docket number 2000?
Question.
Yes.
The resurfacing in the front is just going to be the 5 spaces? When you're saying the parking lot?
Yes. That's all they have.
So it's just the 5 spots?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
is it the 5 spots all the way to
The street?
the curb?
You know, I just would like it to be more specific then.
Their parking lot, their property,
Their parking lot is just the 5 spots, which consist of
there's 5 spots
the dimension
plus
that you
an
have
app.
on here?
There's a driveway.
So
This area is part of their property that is not the parking, but it's part of the parking lot.
So it goes all the way up to the grass area,
It goes up to this black line.
and that looks like the
So
grass
it's like
area.
50 by 50.
Well, no, the grass area is the oval.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at,
I believe, is this owned by IDOT here?
The plat of survey, yeah, the right-of-way probably goes up to the, I guess that,
You know, what? Yeah, I have a
There you
plat
go.
here as
Sorry,
well.
okay.
yeah,
It's-
I'm
Oh, it
assuming
goes
that's where
right
the
up to the
right-of-way,
grass
that's where their
area.
property ends, and I'm assuming that's where the IDOT
Yes.
right-of-way begins.
Okay.
so that whole area needs to be,
We'll pave it to the street, to the, through the right-of-way, through the easement, if that's,
No.
if that's.
so unfortunately, I'm looking at it, I'm looking at an aerial view. And this is grass here, I assume? Is that, I can't recall, I drive by it every day, all the time. This area, so here's,
You have a picture.
oh, this is theirs, up
They
to.
don't have much grass in front of them
Oh, I'm
because they
sorry.
have
They
the
have the
driveway to
driveway.
Wolf
They have the
Road.
driveway.
Right.
So it goes up to the driveway,
Yes.
right, up to the driveway.
But there's like 8 or 9 feet between the property
Yes,
line and the.
right, yep. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong spot. Yes, that's going to be resurfaced and restriped.
Correct.
Great, okay. Any other questions?
I wish we could require them to do it.
Any other questions? No?
No.
Okay, thank you. So, we have a motion, do we have a motion for docket number 2018-11?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Dorban, second by Commissioner Kalis. Ms. Secretary,
Thank you. Commissioner Dorbin?
Yes.
Commissioner Kellis?
Yes.
Commissioner Villanova, yes. Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Powers absent. And Mr. Chairman?
yes.
Thank you.
Motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Good luck. You'll have something to sign.
Okay.
They build these each separately. Doesn't look consistent at all, like they just.
That's what I'm saying. You know, of course, I've already got cars back.
I mean, I've literally never gone back here, so.
Just sign both of those.
someday. So why aren't there park?
One of them, you can take that bottom one, that will be for you. Thank you. And if I could have my pen back?
I was trying to get away with something before.
Yes, it's a great Italian accent. Thank you. Okay,
Do they ever pack it out? I don't think they ever.
calling docket number SCBA 18-23-1, 375 West Dundee, appearance approval of freestanding sign.
It's kind of a dive.
Why was the Metro sign in there?
Because it's part of the town center sign.
Okay. Yeah. Good point, yeah. So, this one, Wheeling Town Center, if we could just, we're talking about an address here. This is in front of the apartment building. We normally do have numerals there. Do we want to have numerals in on this building, 375? Comments?
I believe there should be on this sign, yes.
Where's the
Yes.
this actually going?
Where is the sign going, is the question? This one?
This one sits on an angle near, at Northgate
Okay,
and
can we
Dundee.
just focus on, okay, so it's right there.
Right here.
The one.
Like by
is-
Burger King?
Across from Burger.
Across
Across-
Northgate from there.
Right.
No, this is very close to Starbucks. Here's Starbucks,
Oh, yeah.
and here's Northgate Parkway here. The sign will be between Starbucks and Northgate here.
And this is just for the rental units?
Yes, it's for the apartment building.
So the code says for freestanding signs that the address of the establishment must be located on the sign unless clearly visible on the building. And then they should be no less than 6 inches and no greater than 12 inches in height in proportion to the sign.
So it should be there.
Yep.
Unless the building,
it's on the building.
unless it's on the building and clear.
Yeah, but that building is a block and a half in.
But if they're large, but it's a big building that stands above everything with, you know, if it had giant, I don't know how it's gonna.
There's, in Schaumburg off the highway, there's a building that has like
Oh, yeah.
giant number 20 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's, so, who knows? But I don't think, I wasn't part of the commission back then. Is there numbers on the building? That
They haven't
anyone
come
can
before
remember?
us.
I don't think so.
I would say put the numbers on there.
Just change the address to 1 Wheeling Town Center.
No. The fire department's got to be able to find it.
That's correct. The one is an inappropriate address. The village's grid system. And we've had
Got it.
lengthy discussions about that
I
issue.
didn't mean
So
to
it
cause a
should go
problem.
on there. Okay.
All right.
So we have a motion on docket number SCBA 18-23-1 with adding the address 375
Per code.
per code.
Very code.
Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Creech, second by Commissioner Kalis. Ms. Secretary?
Thank you. Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Kellis?
Yes.
Commissioner Novel, yes. Commissioner Dorbin?
Yes,
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Powers absent, and Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Thank you.
They will have to be careful how they position it if it's going to get covered up with landscaping, though.
Right.
Very true.
Does the code say you can't
I mean-
cover it up with landscape?
Without landscaping, it'll look fine right under the black part, but
Yeah.
Right.
I see landscaping that's going to block that.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's room. They could put it here, or sometimes they put it on the side, the
Right.
small,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
actually, like here.
Right.
Docket number SCBA 18-25 Wheeling Town Center 351 West Dundee Road. Appearance approval of freestanding signs. So it's these, right?
So there's multiple signs in this, this docket. There's the multi-tenant directory-type signs for the entire shopping center, and also includes signage for the one. There are two signs, identical here, at two different ends of the Dundee Road northern portion of the site. Let me show you the site plan. So they'll be located here, in the yellow, and here. Those are the large multi-tenant signs. Then there are directional signs for the town center themselves, itself, and they are located throughout the parking areas of the town center. And then the third type of sign is Metro parking signs. They're pretty standard. They'll be used in the Metro parking lots. And there's two different types here. And so the town center directional signs are shown in the pink color, and the Metro signs are over here in the Metro lot.
So the question again is, could you go back to the pink signs? So those are just going to be arrows to, for instance, municipal parking, right? One.
So they would have already seen our number signs.
Right, this is once they're already inside of the development, they're going
Got it.
towards various
So none of these
uses.
are going to say CMX this way, or yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they can say that.
So it's just an arrow that way, CMX, okay.
Right.
So the question is on the monument sign. Do we need an address on that that says 351 through 3 whatever?
If we're requiring it of the other one, would it be consistent that this would be required? Like, how could we make it required for one and not the others?
I think there is precedent for multi-tenant signage like this elsewhere in the village, other shopping centers. I do not believe they all have
Right.
the address displayed.
So let's take a poll. Easiest way to do this. Address on the sign, Commissioner Johnson. It's pretty easy, yes or no?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanova.
No.
Commissioner Dorban.
Yes,
Commissioner Kalis.
No.
Commissioner Creech.
No.
And I say no also. So, no addresses on that sign right there. So, do we hear a motion on docket number 2018-11? I'm
So
sorry,
moved.
wrong one.
oops.
I'm sorry, I was looking at the last
Correct.
item for review. I'm sorry, Commissioner Dorban. Docket number SCBA 18-25. Your motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Dorban, second by Commissioner Creech.
Yes.
Ms. Secretary?
Thank you. Commissioner Dorbin?
Yes,
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanova, yes. Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Callis?
Yes.
Commissioner Powers absent, and Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's it for items for review. Approval of minutes, May 24, 2018, including facts and findings for dockets number 2018-9 and 2018-10. There a motion?
so moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Dorban, second by Commissioner Creech. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nobody. Other business? Brooke?
I have nothing.
Okay, Commissioner Johnson.
Nothing, sir.
Commissioner Blanova.
I have nothing.
Okay. Commissioner Dorban.
Nothing, thank you.
Commissioner Kalis.
So I was, as it pertains to painting brick, it's like a very subjective topic, and I was wondering, at the risk of volunteering myself for more meetings, and hopefully nobody has any tomatoes to throw at me, but I don't really know. Commissioner Creech said that the paint and the stains these days are of high quality so that it wouldn't become an issue of peeling. I mean, that's a subjective sort of thing. Like, can we get a standard of what sort of paints and stains can be used? Because I was torn on, like, it could peel, but maybe not, but maybe if the manufacturer guarantees that it doesn't peel or something, if we were aware of manufacturing codes, like how the quality, and if we could say you have to use this paint or this stain, is that a possibility?
I think that's a good question that you could ask of the petitioner, especially when they're proposing it. What stain are you proposing? What's the brand? What's the warranty?
Yeah, because as a commission, how do we know that? Like, he knows a lot more about material than anyone in the
Right.
world, pretty
And
much.
there could be different qualities of
yeah,
different
like,
products.
I'm
So I
fine
think
with
it's
it.
good to ask
Yeah.
the petitioner.
But they might not even
specifically.
know, so.
Well, I think in the future, you could ask them to come back with further details if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm just curious if anyone knows of like the highest quality one that has been proven not to, and then we say, have you tried, we would recommend that you use this brand. And then I would feel more confident saying you can paint it, but you have to use this one. So maybe that's just something I need to investigate on my own or something, but I was torn on that
I
question.
don't think we can recommend any like specific brand. It could be standards, but I don't think we can recommend specific brand. I don't think it's gonna look good.
So then it goes back to the arbitrary, like, do you want them to paint it or not? Well, I don't, I mean,
Well,
like,
my line of
I hope
thinking-
it doesn't peel, but like,
My line of thinking on this is we just told Burger King they couldn't paint.
so stay consistent with,
And
But we're painting stucco, you're painting all this cementuous siding panels. So, I mean, you're painting masonry. If there's an existing problem with the painted brick, then I would say no. But it would have to be covered again. Otherwise, it's just totally going to be a maintenance issue forever. But with a new product, and you're painting on a new surface, and if it's prepared properly, the new products that are out there now are just fine.
Makes sense.
And I understand that, and the new products out there, but we don't know what they are going to use. So in my
Correct.
opinion, the safer way to be is not to paint brick. So then
Well,
we
it should be
don't
stained,
have
but
stained.
it should be stained, not painted, but
Well, they use the term painted. So
Well,
even
they use-
staining implies that it.
tissue and Kleenex too. I mean,
Right, yeah. So the way I think we look at it when we did this is that there's no guarantee what they're going to use is going to be of good quality as you suggest. And monitoring that and policing that, I think, would be hard. So if we have the standard of no paint, then it makes it easier on everyone.
or we have specifications to follow.
Do we, I guess, to their point, I mean, is that something that we can add? Well, me personally, I'm not a big fan of painting brick.
Me neither, but I mean,
My father was a bricklayer, and he's probably turning over in his grave right now.
I agree with
does
you.
it peels, or you just don't
I
like the
think,
look?
yeah, I think it's
So
maintenance.
your
Right.
grandfather used different paint than we have today. Clearly, it's better product now. So I respect that, but like if it makes it look nice and it's durable and proven to be durable, then I would like to consider it, but
But again, it gets down to what are they using? What materials and
well, it's just like Drive-It, you know, I know that, you know, we're opposed to Drive-It and we don't want to use Drive-It, but again, it's the application of the Drive-It that makes the difference. Because the product is a good product and it holds up for a long time.
I just don't like that it's always going to be a subjective thing, like, I just wish there was more of.
well, it's not subjective, we just say no.
Okay.
And it's not subjective.
I guess
mean-
so the alternative for McDonald's then is that they use, if they want a different color, they have to re-brick it, like use brick, and it just costs them more, is that?
Or they
just
have
leave it
matching
alone?
colors to the rest of they match their exterior, whatever they're changing, to match the brick.
Did we not just say that KFC could paint their building bright fire engine red?
Not brick, though.
Not brick, it wasn't brick. it
Okay,
was that.
okay.
But isn't there an issue in their brand is of certain colors. Do we not have to accommodate those colors because of their brand?
No, I don't think so.
Well, we did that for KFC, Taco
Right, well,
Bell.
we have, but we don't have to. I
Yeah.
mean, we could say no, and if you go into other communities where they build McDonald's years ago, that, you know, and I'm using this as an example, a town could say, I don't want arches. And, and if they want to be in that town, they don't do arches.
Wow.
You know, but that's an extreme example, but they can, you know, in this case, the brick color was very similar to,
Yes.
to what
Yeah.
they had.
I would just hate an owner to like think that they might not want to be there because they can't maintain the brand standard because we told them they can't paint. But in this case, I don't think that's the case. But,
Right.
Yeah, there's many different designs
Yeah.
out there.
Right. Okay. I'm just trying, as the newest person, I'm trying to understand
No,
the
that's
thought
fine.
process of this and
So
what's.
And I mean, I would say if there's a level of certain type of paint or something that you personally are more comfortable with, you could definitely research that.
I have no idea.
But I'd say you
Yeah.
could research that and then ask that in
Yeah.
advance to have the petitioner be prepared to discuss that.
That's true.
I was
So
just
that's
gonna, I was wondering if there's anyone at the village that's like super knowledgeable about this that could teach me or us or whatever.
But I don't
I'll just go
think we
Googling
can
it and teach you all.
recommend anything.
We can't
as far
recommend a
as
brand, but we
brand.
could recommend if there's certain standards, like I don't know enough about paint to know what the levels are, but, you know, when you have sheets, there's different thread counts, and if there's a certain amount, so it's above X, Y, Z.
So we could recommend a standard,
What
but
do you do with the
not
hardy
a
board? It
brand,
has to be,
correct?
you want it to be, like hardy board, you want it to be a certain thickness,
Okay,
something like that.
okay.
Okay. All right, that's it from me.
Thank you. Commissioner Creech? Did I ask you?
I have nothing else to say.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
Commissioner Dorban, did I ask you if you had
Yes.
anything to say? Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I just have one thing. Happy 4th of July to everybody, and this Saturday is the Rock and Run the Runway. Starts with a 5K race at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then the other events start at 5 o'clock. There's going to be a kiddie train ride, face painting, balloon artists, foods available from, I think, an increase of number of food trucks, and live music begins at 6, and then there is a headliner at 8:15, break at 9:15 for fireworks, no charge, please attend. Thank you. Anything else? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Kalis, second by Commissioner Johnson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned. Thank you all.